This is your Captain Matthew Burchette. We'd like to thank you for watching Curator on the Loose yet one more time. And today we're going to be filming with Alaska Airlines, as you can probably tell. So buckle up. I hope it's not a bumpy ride.
Megan.
Hey, Matthew.
How are you?
Delightful. How are
Oh
you
my gosh,
today?
it's good to see you.
Good to see you again as well.
So, what are we going to do today?
Today, we're going to take a tour of the Alaska Airlines flight facility.
That is really cool. I am so excited. I got to ask right up front, because I've been dreaming of this. Can I fly one of the Sims?
I think we can make that happen today.
Excellent. Okay, where do we start?
Well, how about we start? We can turn the corner right here and we will see our hallway of full motion simulators.
All right, I am really excited. Oh, yes.
Here are the full motion simulators.
This is awesome. So tell me a little bit about these things. These are the full motion sims,
Yes,
which
sir.
means that
They're going to extend. Right now they're off motion, but once they come onto motion, that gate's going to come up and then it's going to rise an additional 60 inches or about 5 feet.
Whoa.
So that way, when we're climbing up on our takeoff, you really feel that. Or if we're going to come to a stall and nosedive or anything, you're going to feel it. And because it's on 6 legs, that 6 degrees of freedom, has the ability to really have realistic roll, pitch, and yaw. So any way an airplane is going to turn, you're going to feel it. And when we turn on an engine out or turbulence, it's going to be noticeable.
Oh, that is awesome. So Megan, okay, this is really a cool job, but what exactly do you do?
So my job title is a Simulator Technician 3, and in the simulation world, it kind of breaks into simulator technician and simulator engineer. And so I not only do preventative maintenance that we have scheduled, that we do weekly, monthly, annual basis, but I also take care of issues that are more severe. Maybe something breaks, I'm able to fabricate with metal, rivet, use that kind of A&P experience to cover much more of that hardware side. But also with Alaska, they taught me how to visual model, because it's hard to see right there, but on top of that is the visual cab, because inside of there, it's not really San Francisco or Seattle.
Yeah.
So we've got 3 projectors up there giving us a little bit more than 180-degree view. And so where Alaska flies, we need to have an airport. So we build them. And I just take basically a flat photo of their taxiways or runways, and I use a computer program. And from there, polygon by polygon, I will build that. And then we build the building so it's 3D. We build the terrain, because you never know. Well, we do know where they're going to fly, but some of that airspace is very restricted, or there's obstructions or ground that they need to be able to practice and maneuver, because it's not very easy to get a Boeing 737 to do a pretty immediate right angle.
When we first got here, we flipped on one of the simulators, and I looked out, and there was a guy below us with his wands, and I was like, how'd that guy get down here so fast? And then I went, duh. That's how realistic it is.
We have ramp agents. We call it a clutter file, but every airport we put in clutter. So the fuel trucks, the baggage carts, the ramp agents, the marshalers, and we have scenarios where we can set them up. So if we did a pullback, so you set up the tug, and they will marshal you back to where you need to go, and then they walk off. It's amazing what you can simulate and what you can create on this software, and what they do to make this as realistic as possible, so what the pilots are doing, so they know what they're doing.
That's cool. And the reason behind these things is to keep pilots current, to keep them up to date with the newest instrumentation and all that kind of stuff. And that all boils down to safety, number one.
Absolutely, and that's the number one thing we run on is safety. What happens in a situation if you have an engine out and you're also in heavy rain and there's turbulence? You don't want to be finding out what you would do in that situation for the first time with an airplane full of passengers trying just to go to Denver. So that's why we set up this with engine malfunctions, any kind of airplane malfunction, weather related.
Wow.
So that way we can throw it at them, and we can pressure them, and we can test them and make sure they're up to the standard. They're
really
better than
cool.
the standard, because this is important. But I mean, we're not just dealing with new hire pilots. We're also doing recurrent training too. Because just because you pass this once doesn't mean you're good to go. Every year, we want to make sure our pilots are coming back. So that way we're refreshing skills, because you're not going to have an engine out every single thing. Hopefully you never have one in your career. But we still want to make sure that if push comes to shove, they know what they're doing and we're flying safe with the best pilots possible.
That is awesome. All right, let's go check some stuff out, because I am excited. And the more we talk, the more excited I get.
Matthew, how are you, sir?
Brenda, nice to meet you.
Wonderful. Thank you for coming.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I just got the full below the Sims kind of really techie tour from Megan, but I am really itching to fly. Is that something we can do?
You are in the right place, sir. Welcome. So this is the Global Training Center Simulator Bay, one of them. 4 sims here. You've got 2 737 sims down there, an Airbus A330 sim, and then we're going to put you right inside the 737 MAX 9 sim. So Megan showed you some of the behind the scenes of the amazing work that they do to keep these things running. And why the work they do is so important is because it gives our pilots an incredible experience inside these simulators to train them up to go out and fly our airplanes.
I'm excited.
All right, let's get you in there, Captain. Come on, you're in the left seat.
Oh boy.
Okay, well, here we are in the 737 MAX 9 simulator. A lot of the work that Megan and her team does is this airplane will fly, will feel exactly like a MAX 9. And it's not just a 737 aircraft, it's a 737 MAX 9. It's so detailed, it's all the way down to the model, because we fly the MAX 8s, we fly the 737 NG series, the 700, the 800, and the 900 ER. They all share a similar flight deck. They all feel, they can feel a little bit different. And so it's modeled, like that team gets us down. It has to model the aircraft exactly. Our new pilot training runs about 75 days. Okay.
Wow.
So a pilot will come in, they'll do some ground training, they'll learn all of the basics, they'll learn to speak Boeing, they'll learn to fly the 737 on paper first. Then they'll go into our fixed base trainers, which are over at our Legacy building, our Legacy Training Center. Looks just like this, switches that move, but it's on the ground, it's fixed. We don't bring in that motion element yet, because once you start to bring in that motion, it starts to feel real for our brains, right?
It does.
And so better to learn it at ground speed 0, as we say, before we come in here, because now this is like the full meal deal. This feels, from this wall forward, this feels like what it would feel like if you and I were to go out and jump and do a MAX 9 and fly. Okay, so we are on runway 16 left here in Seattle, Washington. This runway, just about 12,000 feet long. So it would take me about 20 minutes to jog down to the end of this.
Wow.
Yeah, so lots of runway for you. We talked about some of the basics, right? Thrust, flaps are set for takeoff. We've got all of our speeds already entered in there. You've got this big wheel here, right?
Yeah.
It moves back and forth. And you'll notice what this is labeled as stab trim.
Yeah.
So the 737 has an elevator on the back end of the stabilizer, but a really large tail surface, okay, that is not connected to the elevator. That's controlled through the stabilizer trim. And so you're gonna notice on our flight that I'm gonna be asking you to take your hands off of the control column from time to time, just to make sure that that tail section is trimmed. Because if it's not, you're gonna be fighting this airplane the whole way through. So super important, and that's up on your thumb here. For nose up, push it down. For nose down, you push it forward. Cool?
Cool.
Okay. Any other questions before we get going?
All right, let's do this.
All right, well, as we say in the business, this is your airplane, so we have a positive transfer of control. You have the aircraft. Captain, we're all relying on you here. Freeze is off. We've got our lights on. Our flaps are set. The runway's yours. You're clear for takeoff. Run the engines up to about 40% N1 there. That just makes sure that both engines spool up at the same speed. We'll start rolling, and then there's a little button right down here. Just reach down and right down there, reach down and push that. There it goes. It'll set takeoff thrust for us, and keep your hand up there. One hand there, one hand there. You're steering with your rudder pedals right now. Okay, so your control column's not going to steer us on the ground. Just that
so
rudder
weird.
pedal. Yep. There's 80 knots. I'm cross-checking, make sure that both of our gauges are working. Runway is clear, looks clear out in front of us. And there's our rotation speed. Both hands onto the control column, smoothly bring this bird airborne. Pitch for about 15 degrees, nose up. Positive rate, I'll get that gear up. And once we're ready to start accelerating, so now we're through that initial takeoff period, let's start to speed up and bring our flaps up. So come down to about 10 degrees nose up. And notice our airspeed now is starting to increase. So I'll start to clean that wing up by bringing those flaps up. And I'll knock out an after takeoff checklist for us. Yep. Those will stay on just so other people can see us. And your after takeoff checklist is complete, Captain.
Sweet.
Let's climb up to 5,000 feet. And let's just stay on this heading here of about 150.
Now not going in the direction I want to.
Okay, so then how are we going to fix that? There, yep, exactly. You're going to pitch up and you're going to bring in thrust. Now, this is the hardest kind of flying that you'll do in the sense that you don't have any flight guidance right now. You're flying raw data, just purely old school pitch and power.
That is really cool.
Yeah. So as we're flying along here, you notice we do have some clouds out there. So I'm going to turn on your weather radar and let's see if we can see what that looks like here.
That's not good.
So you can see this is about 80 miles. So that weather is about 100 to 120 miles out there. And so we obviously wouldn't want to fly through that, right?
Right.
Because that's going to introduce turbulence.
Yeah.
Potential for, lightning, hail, all that stuff. So this is how we use the weather radar to back up what we see with our eyes when we can, because sometimes we could be in the clouds. And so we probably want to turn away from that. And let's do a 180 turn back to the right here. Get you back over by the Puget Sound area. There's a lot less threats out that way. All right. You want to see what the TCAS system does?
Please.
TCAS is, there's other planes out here in the Seattle area, and so we're going to bring up some traffic for us here.
So right now I am really...
Yeah, why?
I got no clue.
Okay, so hands off. So does the airplane want to go faster or slower?
It wants to go down.
Which is faster, right?
Yeah.
Because you were trimmed at 250 knots at level flight. So that's the speed that it was trimmed at. So you need to bring your thrust up and don't hesitate to use that trim. Get yourself established back in the climb, maybe 10 or 15 degrees nose up. Power up. Climb out.
Better.
Yeah? So, traffic coming towards us there. See that? The fact that it says, oh yeah, you're getting fast, aren't you?
Yeah. I'm at 300.
Yeah. Traffic. We've got traffic out in front of us. So we can go ahead and bring our thrust back here a little bit. 60%. And our eyes are out looking for that traffic. It's about 5 miles in the same... Oh, and now stay out of that red box there.
Oh.
So power back and nose down.
Climb now.
Okay, now this is a reversal. So get up into that magenta and the power up now. Get up out of that red box. Yep.
Level up.
And now level off. Follow that guidance. So that traffic went 500 feet below us.
Wow.
I never saw him.
Never saw it.
Never saw him, but the TCAS system saw it for us.
Thank you, TCAS.
Yes.
Clear of conflict.
There you go.
Thanks.
Clear of conflict.
I'm glad it's smarter than I am.
So we're still a little bit fast, so let's go ahead and you can bring that thrust back. You can tell so much of learning how to fly is just mastering these fundamental skills, right? Of just flying straight and level and a level turn.
So now that I am not in a precarious position, what do you actually do for Alaska?
Yeah.
I mean, is this your full-time job, right? Teaching newbies like me?
No, so I'm a line pilot, which means I fly a regular schedule, right? So I bid a schedule every month. I go out and I fly the airplane on normal passenger operations. I'm also checked out as an instructor, and so when we're doing a lot of hiring or when pilots are coming back for recurrent training, I'm in the simulators and our fixed base devices, running pilots through lessons like like this, like you're, experiencing. Okay, so you think we should practice some landings?
Sure.
Yeah? I'm gonna go to flight freeze, give you a little break there. Yeah, so don't hesitate to, like, if you're really fast, power to idle,
Okay.
But when you go power to idle, we know that nose is gonna drop.
It's gonna drop.
You're gonna have to trim again, right? So it's kind of this, this like a ballet of thrust, pitch, trim, keeping this thing stabilized, right? Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna start off, flaps 15 again, gear down. We're gonna start off, what we would commonly do is start you off on the autopilot, okay? Let it kind of get all stabilized, and then you're gonna turn off the autopilot with that thumb switch,
Okay.
and turn off the auto throttles with this thumb switch, and then again, it's gonna be trimmed out, smooth, small changes, okay?
What actually is autopilot? I mean, I think people think, well, it just completely flies a plane for you.
Yeah.
People just sit up. The pilots actually sleep. I've heard that one before.
Right. Yeah.
So what does it do and what does it not do?
The autopilot is a resource. It's a tool, right? And like a lot of automation systems, it's subject to garbage in, garbage out, right? And so we use the autopilot to help us manage the workload that we experience on a typical day. Though that workload throughout the day that we're flying will go up and down, right? When we're close to the ground like this in busy airspace landing, it's a high workload environment.
Yeah.
So you as the pilot flying, a lot of your attention is just focused on, I'm flying this down to the runway, right? And so what you're able to see as you start to really focus on something, you get this little tunnel vision there, right?
Okay.
And so my job as the pilot monitor is I help you maintain that big picture. While you're flying, looking at the runway, managing thrust and airspeed, I'm looking at engine gauges, engine systems. Is there traffic on a parallel runway beside us? Are we getting high? Are we getting low? And I'm going to speak up and say something if I say that. The autopilot is kind of like that third pilot there to help you manage the workload, because navigating a 150,000 pound airplane with 180 people on back at 150 miles an hour is a lot of work. But like any tool, it can fail, right? And so we always work on developing your skills first as the pilot flying to be able to fly the airplane. Autopilot always comes in after that. Generally, when I'm out flying, I won't turn the autopilot on unless there's a good reason to, unless I need that additional resource.
Yeah.
Probably until I'm climbing through 14, 15, 16,000 feet on takeoff.
Oh, wow.
Because I want to get to know what is the normal pitch and power settings of this plane, and I want that to kind of, sink in. On landing, I'll generally turn it off again, several thousand feet above the ground, because I love flying. That's why we do it, right?
Yeah.
Is almost all of us, in fact, I will say all of us have that passion. That's what got us into it.
Yeah.
Is that we love flying airplanes, and the fact that we get to fly a 737 is an incredible honor.
That's pretty cool.
Right? Are you ready? Autopilot's on.
As I'll ever be.
So I just want you guarding the controls for right now.
Okay.
We're going to let everything get stabilized, and then we'll turn off the autopilot, and we'll let you fly this down.
Okay.
Take a deep breath. Confidence. I can do this. Here we go.
I can do this.
So again, it's re-trimming that pressure off of the stabilizer. As we bring flaps in, that changes the trim setting, right? As we slow down, changes the trim setting. So again, it's one of those things that we're always managing. Okay, so we're coming up to glide slope capture here. So we're gonna start our descent down to the runway. I'm gonna keep on slowing you down and getting you configured for landing. Now, when you're ready, you're gonna push the autopilot disengage button 2 times slowly and the auto throttle disengage button 2 times slowly. And hit it one more time. That gets rid of that. Now, nope, hand up there. So you are flying, okay? Should be trimmed enough. Now, you have your flight guidance here too, right? But you're also looking, the best flight guidance that you have right now is your eyeballs, okay? You want this runway to stay in the same position in that window, but just get bigger.
Yeah.
So now we're coming back down. This is looking good. This is looking good. Now we're gonna wanna fix the sink rate here before we get too close to the ground, right?
500.
But this is looking good. Back to the left just slightly. So we may land a little bit long on this, but I'm gonna let you keep on coming down here because a normal crew would execute a missed approach here, but I'm gonna let you just keep coming down just to practice this flare. This is looking beautiful. Just again, calm, deep breath. Eyes start to come up. Pull back and power to idle. Power to idle. Pull back, pull back. Eyes down the runway, engage. Now, you see that we're flying again,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Good.
Speed brake. Speed brake.
Brakes. Feet up on the brakes. Slowing down. You go ahead and stow those thrust reversers there. Really easy to get that tunnel again. So so I would just let go of that control column and
Yeah,
feed onto
it's-
the brakes here and slow us down. We want to come to a stop here on the runway. Not bad. Let's debrief that.
Yes, please.
Debrief. How'd that go? What do you?
It's like I keep wanting to drive a car.
Yeah. Just take it after we touch down and all three
Hands off.
all that nose is down and the mains are down. Just hands off smoothly on there because the
Yeah.
airplane was on the center line and you steered us off. But flare wise, we got a little bit high inside. So this time let's get down a little bit lower to the ground
Okay.
and don't think so much of I'm pulling this nose up as I'm just not going to let the nose hit the ground.
Okay.
Okay. Thrust reversers, hand off the control column and back on center line. Right rudder. I feel like a mama bird. I just shoved you out of that. Shoved you out of that.
This is where
You love going left.
I love going
You love the
left.
fast lane, but we just
I
get into
do.
settings.
I do.
You love that. Good job. Yep, and just bring it to a stop using those brakes there. You know, taxiing can be a really challenging part of a flight too.
Yeah.
You know,
Tiller.
especially if the visibility's down and there's other planes. Go ahead and set the parking brake for me. So you got to push down on the brakes, set that and then release. Dude,
Thanks.
that was amazing.
Woo! It was a little long, but it got there.
You know what I noticed on that one is I was doing a little instructor trick on you where I stopped speaking, and you started to
Correct,
yeah, and you got that flare, you got the power out, perfect height. I would have taken that touchdown any day of the week in the airplane, you know. So now
You're so good for my ego.
So now the next time they say, "Is there anyone on board that knows how to land a 737? We need you up front now."
I'll be like,
Boom.
been there, done that.
That's it, dude. That was great.
Awesome.
You know? Yeah. And,
All right, that one I'm happy with.
and then
I can do better, but I'm happy with that one.
you can see. I bet that your next ones after all of that now would be money because you just had that little moment where it all made sense. It clicked, as we say in the business, right? It all just clicked and it all came together beautifully.
Very cool.
That was awesome. Nice job,
Brendan,
Brendan.
you are an amazing pilot and teacher.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Thank you
I
so
got to
much.
admit, I'm pretty happy with that landing.
Yeah, I am too. And you see exactly the purpose that these simulators
Yeah.
function. Your first landing, right?
Yeah.
The difference between your first one and your last one, a marked improvement. And now imagine that you already have a huge knowledge base to build
Yep.
on. We're just in here, we're just fine tuning, making sure that our pilots, when they go out, that they're equipped and ready to deal with anything that day throws at them.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is amazing that Alaska has this. So, on that note, thank you, Alaska Airlines. This has been an amazing time. You probably don't want me as a full-time pilot, and that's okay. Nobody else does either. I'm better off as a curator. Speaking of curators, keep watching Curator on the Loose because you never know what we're going to do next. You never know what I'm going to get up to because it's probably going to be something stupid and cool all at the same time. If you've got questions and comments, and come on, I know you will, put them up there. We'll get answers for you. And if we don't know them, we will find the people like Brendan that do. Never flown a 737 before. I can get X many hours in here and then go take
Not
the group.
you. No.
Yeah.
Not
Thank
you.
God.